Mr. Bhavan Paramahansa Mr. Sanjay Bhakti Sangam. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and we have some papers to pass out here, so we need 2 people to pass out. Yeah, that's one, and this is one. Yeah, you give to everybody one. Mukam karati vachalam bhagam nagadegirim yakutandamaham mande Sri Guru Tinatarinam Om Agana Timirandasya Gananja Sakaya Chakshurvinitam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I'd like to welcome you to the first day out of 2 to our seminar on the prayers of Lord Brahma for mercy. Long, long ago, King Yudhisthira asked Lord Krishna, how is it devotees of Lord Shiva become so rich and the devotees of Vishnu do not? Krishna answered, if I especially favor a devotee and wish to care for him, the first thing I do is take away his riches. Now don't leave the room. It won't happen. It's only for a very special devotee, not for everyone. It's only if you're really a very fortunate devotee that Krishna will take away your riches. So when the devotee becomes poverty-stricken, his family members don't take interest in him. Just like Srila Prabhupada, he lost his business. And then he was writing a poem in Vrindavan that, there's 2 papers. So just check. Yeah, whichever one you don't have, take that. Okay. 2 papers. Right. So Prabhupada, he should have been, according to his chart, he should have been one of the richest men in the world. Of course, if you look at it, he did have a lot of money, but he didn't claim anything for himself. He didn't claim it as his. So, but after he lost his business, he wrote a poem. He said, I'm sitting in Vrindavan, and what is left of my family? Now I have no money and they don't care for me. I sit alone and laugh. He thought it very funny, actually. I would think if it would happen to us, we would not think it's very funny. But Prabhupada saw the humor in it. He was a very humorous person. One of my god sisters, before she came to Krishna consciousness, she lost everything. And all she had left was the clothes on her back. Then she went swimming in the ocean and she kept her clothes. She was a hippie, She kept her clothes outside and she went swimming in the ocean, took her clothes too. So she had nothing, literally. So sometimes it happens. Krishna takes away everything and then we join, we become devotees. It helps us to surrender. But it's not when it happens to a devotee, it's not due to your past karma, Prabhupada says. It's actually a creation of the Lord. And when you have a lot of money, if a devotee becomes rich, it's not due to karma, it's because of the Lord. He's giving you that money because he knows that you will take care of it nicely. I remember I was always lacking money most of my life. Then I decided to start printing books and I took whatever, I had some savings. I took all my savings and after that I never had a problem for money. Then I understood, if I get money I have to print books. It's like Bhaktisiddhanta told Srila Prabhupada, if you ever get money, print books. So that happened to me too. So, today's seminar is about mercy. We're going to hear a lot about mercy and we're going to have an analysis. It will be analyzed in the prayers of Brahma. And when Brahma woke up in the morning, everything was dark. He didn't know how to create. And he offered prayers to the Lord and he got inspired how to create. And he analyzes, he begs for mercy, and he analyzes that mercy, and we will see what is mercy. But before we hear the analysis, I would like to ask you to think, what is mercy? Think of one word. When you think of the word mercy, of course, probably you'll think of what kind of mercy you would like to have. But anyway, you can think of one word when you think of the word mercy. What comes to, yes?
Connection.
Connection, okay? Yes?
Love.
Love.
Something good.
Huh?
Something good.
Something good, yes.
Compassion.
Compassion, yes.
Gift.
Gift, yes.
To be spared.
To be spared. Okay. Yes, we have some positive and we have some negative ideas about mercy. Yes, this is all mercy. Compassion, to be spared. Don't give me the difficult kind of mercy, Krishna, please. Some kinds of mercy we like, and some kinds of mercy we don't appreciate so much. Until maybe a few years later, and we say, yeah, actually that was mercy. That was really mercy. So now you have one paper, it's called a chart on mercy. And there is an analysis here at the beginning. There are some Sanskrit words which explain what is mercy. What is Krishna's mercy? And this was given in the 10th canto. Right after this verse was spoken about how Krishna takes away everything. And then the next verse, a couple verses afterwards, it explains what is mercy. So you have this in your chart, you can follow along. Brahma, first of all, it's described as Brahma. His greatness can only be compared to Brahman. It's unlimitedly great and unlimitedly expanding. So, wouldn't you like to have mercy that's always getting more and more mercy? Well, that's Krishna's mercy. It's expanding. And another word, another Sanskrit word, paramam. No comparison in this world with this kind of mercy. Sukshmam, very fine. Very, very fine. What is this word? Sukshmam. That is, not only is the Lord mercy upon the devotee great and expansive, it is the finest quality of love, transcendental love. We feel the exchange of love when we get mercy. But of course, what it means is when mercy comes to us, we have to turn to the Lord and we have to say, thank you, Lord. We have to always be very grateful. And then we will get more mercy. So, Sat, eternal, Anantakam, unlimited, causeless. We do not deserve it. So these are the different symptoms of the mercy of Krishna description. Now I'd like to share with you a little bit from Niranjan Swami's Vyasa Puja. He talks about mercy. He says, the simple truth is that a devotee is one who is always dependent on the mercy of the Lord and his devotees. But I have no right to get the mercy. Who am I? Why should he listen to me? Well, this is Niranjan Swami speaking in his Vyasa Puja. I've not bound him in the core of my heart. I've not served him in a way that would please him. I don't call out to him like a child calling for his mother. I don't remember him in happiness and distress. In fact, I don't remember him at all in any condition of life. Anyway, this is Maharaj speaking, but he's speaking for us. So, this is how we should feel. This is an attitude of the devotee. That, why should the Lord give me mercy? Well, we may not be qualified, but still the mercy will come, even though we don't deserve it. And this is Srila Prabhupada. He has the mood of Nityananda. We are very fortunate to be in the presence of Gaur-Nitai and Panchatattva. And at every moment they are showering unlimited mercy, but you just have to catch it. You have to be aware that there is unlimited mercy. And so Prahlad Maharaj, he appreciated the mercy of Nrsimhadev, that even though so many demigods were there ready to trying to appease the Lord, he was only appeased by Prahlad Maharaj. He was a very simple child. He offered obeisances. And the Lord picked him up and put him on his lap and was checking everywhere that he was okay, checking his body, just like a mother when the child is in danger, and she checks the child's body. So Brahma wants to create. But before we discuss Brahma, I want to ask a question, because this is an interactive seminar. So you don't come here to sleep today. You're going to be also participating in the discussion. So the next question for you is, what kind of mercy should we pray for? What kind of mercy do you want? Somebody wants to be spared. Yes. Somebody wants compassion. Somebody wants love. Yes.
To just do what Krishna wants us to do.
Okay. Pray for the mercy that just to do what Krishna wants us to do. Yes.
Mercy which makes us closer and more surrendered.
Mercy which makes us closer and more surrendered to Him. Okay. Yes.
I want to be able to pass all the tests Krishna is.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody here is getting some test from Krishna. You want to be able to pass the test. Yeah, especially the final exam, the time of death. Yes.
Mercy for more realization.
Mercy for more realization. Okay, these are the prayers of the devotees for mercy. Yes.
Always remember Krishna and never forget.
Always remember Krishna and never forget, because if you can do that much, then it'll save you a lot of trouble from your mad mind. Yes.
Yes, I have maybe a stupid question, but if you feel like you have a test and you doesn't pass the test,
Yeah.
How do you know that maybe that was necessary in Krishna?
How do you know if you don't pass the test? How do you know if it was necessary?
Yeah,
The test was necessary.
for you to fail, so your understanding get deeper. So
Okay.
in one way, then it's Krishna's mercy anyway.
Yeah, it's Krishna's mercy. So you're thinking, how is it Krishna's mercy that you failed the test? I mean, why? Well, because Prabhupada, I was just listening to Prabhupada speak today, and he said when a child is learning to walk, sometimes he may fall down, but he should still not give up. There's a beautiful purport which Prabhupada was speaking on this morning. I was listening from the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that in the beginning of devotional service, sometimes we may fail. We may fail the test. But as long as you have the attitude of, okay, don't have hopelessness, keep on trying, then that will help you and you will be successful in the future. It's just, actually, even from failure, we can learn some lesson. From success and from failure, both we learn lessons. And if you learn your lesson quicker, then you pass the test. As soon as you learn your lesson, oh, why did that happen? If you understand, there's two things, the lesson of Krishna and the message of Krishna. Okay, this is my lesson.
That was my point.
Lesson is, generally the lesson means a change of attitude. And the message is maybe a change in behavior, some action that you have to take. Okay, so we're going to start now with the prayers of Brahma. And I have written on your chart here a little bit of an outline. Verses 1 to 5, the Lord's form in the heart. And I will say the verses. You have some verses. You will join me in verse 5. So I will read the first 4 verses and talk a little bit about them. So verse 1, Brahma said, "Oh my Lord, today, after many, many years of penance, I have come to know about you. How unfortunate the embodied living entities are. They are unable to know your personality. My Lord, you are the only knowable object, because there is nothing beyond you. If there is anything supposedly superior to you, it's not the absolute." Okay, so Brahma is grateful for his good fortune, but he remembers the fallen souls. He remembers us at the same time. So we can be grateful for our good fortune. We are here in front of Panchtattva, who are performing their pastimes even at this moment, somewhere on this farm or maybe right here. They are performing, and who has eyes, they can see it. So we are very fortunate to be here. At the same time, we can feel compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. So how did Brahma get that position? By acts of penance. So did we do a lot of austerity to get here? Maybe and maybe not. What is our qualification to get the mercy? Do we have any qualification? Can you say? What is your, no qualification, okay? Any idea? Yes, you have some idea?
Yes, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he reciprocates with everyone according to how they
Okay.
and the choices that they make. So it seems that the mercy is not totally causeless.
Okay, sometimes it looks like it's not completely causeless. He reciprocates according to our determination, our behavior, yes.
Well, Lord Chaitanya came to give mercy to the most fallen, so I think being one of the most fallen.
Okay, if you're the most fallen, that's your qualification, she's saying. Because Lord Chaitanya came to give mercy to the most fallen. Yes.
It seems like we just have to accept it.
We have to accept what?
Accept the mercy.
Accept the mercy, yes, that's right. We just have to accept it. Whether it seems like it's good or bad. Yes.
I was just thinking of that somebody said one time, it seems to Srila Prabhupada, he was the most fallen, and Srila Prabhupada answered,
You're not the most anything, yes, yes.
So it's a danger also to think you are the most fallen.
Yeah, we are not the most fallen. We are not the most anything. So anyway, if we, one qualification we have, that we can have, is that we are connected with the disciplic succession. If we follow the instructions of the Guru, that's our qualification. That's our qualification to get mercy. The more you follow, the more mercy you will get. So that is one point. So verse 2, Brahma says, the form which I see is free from material contamination, has come to show mercy to devotees as a manifestation of internal potency. This incarnation is the origin of many other incarnations, and I am born from the lotus flower grown from your navel home. So who can guess which incarnation is this that Brahma is talking about? There was a hint in the verse.
Can you say it again?
Hmm?
Can you say it again?
The verse again? Okay, when Shirashai, no, but you're close. It is Vishnu. He's coming from the navel. Garbhadakshay Vishnu, yes. Shirdakshay Vishnu is in everyone's heart. Garbhadakshay Vishnu is the father of Brahma. It's the second Vishnu. So right now he's seeing in his heart, he's seeing Vishnu, and he's offering prayers. Oh my Lord, I do not see a form superior to your present form of bliss and knowledge. In your Brahman effulgence, there is no change and deterioration of internal potency. I surrender unto you because whereas I'm proud of my material body and senses, your Lordship is the cause of the cosmic manifestation, but you are untouched by matter. So here we can follow along on your chart. Again, we have some Sanskrit words describing the Lord. Napta param, nothing is beyond his personality. You see under verse 3. Anandamatram, reservoir of pleasure. Vishashijam, creator of the universe. Ishamatman, soul of everything. Tau upashito smi, I surrender unto you. So this form of Vishnu, from him many forms come. So many forms. And did you know there's a form just for each and every one of us? There's a form of the Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll read to you about it right now from 10th canto. Brahma is again praying in 10th canto. He said, in time, learned philosophers or scientists might be able to count all the atoms of the earth, the particles of snow, or maybe even the shining molecules radiating from the sun, the stars, and other luminaries, but they'll never be able to count the qualities of the Lord. So, Srila Sanatana Goswami, in the purport of that verse 10:14:7, he says that there is a specific quality, the Lord manifests a special quality for the benefit of each living entity to attract each and every living entity. Innumerable living entities. So the Lord manifests innumerable qualities. So for each and every one of us, the Lord manifests a certain quality that will attract us to Him. So time to think again. What quality of the Lord attracts you to Him? Of course, maybe you haven't figured it out yet, but just think, what sort of quality is attractive? What attracts you? Yes? Beauty. Okay, good. Friendship. Yes. Yes. Unity. Unity? Okay. Good. You want to be one. Yes. Mercy. Oh, the theme of our seminar.
He has a relationship with each person.
He has a special relationship with each person. Yes. That's wonderful. These are qualities. Yes. Dharma. Yes. Compassion. Okay, so these are, for each and every one of us, there's something that will attract us to Him. We're being attracted. We're being attracted. So that is a fact. That is said in Bhagavatam. And these qualities attract us to surrender to Him. So I'll read one more verse for you, unless somebody else has another quality here. No. Okay. Yes. Yes? Playfulness. Okay. Okay. 4. This present form or any transcendental form expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is equally auspicious for all the universes. Since you have manifested this eternal personal form upon whom your devotees meditate, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Now, this is the positive side. Let's hear the negative side. Those who are destined to be dispatched to the path of hell neglect your personal form because of speculating on material topics. Ooh, okay. Yes. So the Lord's form is auspicious, but there are some people who are destined to be sent to hell. And Prabhupada says in the purport who these people are. Persons who are addicted to the impersonal feature of the Lord are pilgrims to hell. So don't do it. Don't try to merge into Brahman. Yes, there is another purport in the prayers of Shukadeva Goswami. It says the mental speculators are always exchanging thoughts on the mental speculator exchange. Did you know? You know what it's called? Facebook. Mental speculator exchange. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? Yes. So everyone's exchanging on the mental speculator exchange. When Prabhupada was here, we didn't have it, but he knew, he was seeing in the future that there is a mental speculator, like the stock exchange. There is a mental speculator exchange. What's on your mind? That's the question of the day. And then you get everyone's mind, it's like, it's enough to drive you crazy. But some people are really good Krishna conscious, they put pictures of Krishna, and so then to get purified. So that's why association of devotees, even on Facebook, is okay. So, now we are going to sing verse 5 together. I will say one line. Now you look at your verses. Verse 395. 3rd canto, chapter 9, verse 5. I will say one line and you can repeat after me. Ye tu todiya charanam bhujako shakantam. Ye tu todiya charanam bhujako shakantam. Jikranti karna vivarai shutivatanitam. Jikranti karna vivarai shutivatanitam. Bhakya vihita charana paraya chatesham. Bhakya vihita charana paraya chatesham. Na paishina taridiyam puruha swapunsam. Napaishinata Hridayam Buruhat Sapumsam. Oh my Lord, persons who smell the aroma of your lotus feet carried by the air of Vedic sound through the holes of the ears, accept your devotional service. For them, you are never separated from the lotus of their hearts. So, this verse talks about smelling through your ears. Anybody have that experience of smelling through your ears? No. Well, in spiritual life, the senses are interchangeable. So you will be able to smell through your ears. But actually, even now we can smell through our ears. And what do we smell through our ears here? The lotus feet of Krishna. The aroma. What do they smell like? What do Krishna's feet smell like?
Tulsi.
Tulsi and Chandan and lotus. Yes, they're lotus feet. They smell like lotus too. And musk. So many things. So many things. So you can smell them by hearing from the Bhagavatam. You can smell Krishna's lotus feet. But actually, you can. Oh, they might smell like honey too. There's supposed to be honey there. And so, just like we can also drink through our ears. It says in the beginning, drink Pibata Bhagavatam Rasam. Drink Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's another kind of drinking. Drinking through your ears, smelling through your ears. And we'll come to another verse where Brahma says we can see through the ears too. So the ears are the most wonderful part of the body. So many things we can do with the ears. And this is Prabhupada's mercy. We can smell Krishna's lotus feet through our ears. So you can hear, you can see, you can smell all through the ears. And the Lord's lotus feet come inside and they sit on the lotus of our hearts. So, purport of this verse, Prabhupada says, for the pure devotee of the Lord, there is nothing beyond the lotus feet of the Lord. And the Lord knows such devotees do not wish anything more than that. And the Lord doesn't want to be separated from the lotus hearts of those pure devotees. So Prabhupada, he had Krishna's lotus feet in his heart. Therefore, he could give Krishna to us. He was so attractive. Prabhupada was so attractive to everyone. And even after he has left this world, people are still attracted to Prabhupada. They're the second generation, third generation devotees. So my next question is, what qualities of Srila Prabhupada attract you? What qualities that you see in Srila Prabhupada are attractive to you?
So many.
Yeah. Yes? Yes? Ditya? Compassion? Yes? Mandalish?
Full faith in Guru and
Full faith in Guru. Okay? Mandalish?
with enormous compassion.
Yeah.
In the age of, in that age, anybody wants to take it easy, but
I know, 69, your body is falling apart completely.
Without his indulger,
Yeah.
you are just lost.
It's his sacrifice. Yes.
His directness.
His directness. Very direct. Oh, yes. Nobody escaped. Yes.
Tolerance and humility.
Tolerance and humility. Yes.
Pure love.
Pure love. Yes.
Well-wisher.
Well-wisher. Yes.
Non-sectarian.
Non-sectarian. Yes. We had somebody here.
His capacity of understanding each and every person that he's to do.
Prabhupada's capacity of understanding each and every person. Yes.
His greatness.
His graveness. Okay. Yes.
His essence.
Essence.
The essence when he was talking. So simple but so
Simple and direct. Yeah.
direct indeed.
Yes.
Is conviction and determination.
Conviction and determination. Yes, these are the qualities of Prabhupada. They're so attractive that we want to follow him. That's why we dropped everything and we followed him. We just dropped it. We just ran after him. And our generation, you have to understand, don't trust anyone over 30. That was our motto. That was our motto. He's like 70, and you know, if someone joined us who was over 30, that was really old age. I mean, the limit was 22. I was 22. I was considered on the borderline of old age, almost. Yeah, but yes, how we followed him, how we followed Prabhupada. It's a miracle, and we're still following him even after he has left this world. So yes, any more qualities of Srila Prabhupada we appreciate? Yes. Kindness. Okay. Yes. Acceptance. Yep. Expertness. Acceptance. That was right the first time. Mm-hmm.
Recently, I heard some Prabhupada's pastimes from Mahatma Prabhu in England, and it was so amazing that he just not one rule. Okay, we have to do this.
Yeah.
He would change the rules.
He would change the rules.
Depends on
Yeah.
the time and the
Yeah. I can give you.
Intelligent and
He used to change the rules. Like in Calcutta, we had so much austerity. One year he told us, you don't have to follow Chaturmasya this year. You don't get milk the whole year. And so it was so austere. We couldn't get, there was no pure ghee. It was all contaminated when in the 70s. There was no water, drinking water. There was a lot of things we couldn't get. But anyway, yes, that was Prabhupada. He was able to change the rules. And he could change, because he gave us the principles, and he could change the details. Principles you cannot change, but details you can change. So, for those of you who are coming back tomorrow, we have some homework. But you don't have to write anything. It's just to ask yourself a question today. How is Krishna's mercy coming to me? I just want you to look for mercy today. And come back tomorrow and you can tell us what you found, if you got some mercy or not. And, okay, so just look for the mercy, be on the lookout. And when you're looking for mercy, it comes, it tends to come more. Of course, it comes every day, but you're just not looking for it, so you don't think it's mercy. But today we're going to look for mercy. We're going to look for it. But before we go on, I'd just like to get some ideas of what to look for. So who can give some ideas? What kind of mercy should we look for today? What is mercy? Yes?
Yeah, able to hear from Dr.
Well, you won't get any more of that today. Any other? But yes, there will be Maharaj will be speaking, and so yes, there will be mercy. Yeah. Prasadam. Prasadam means mercy, I think, doesn't it? Yes. So look for prasadam. Different kinds of prasadam. Yes. Association of devotees.
Yeah, that was the same I would say.
Association. Okay. Look for association of devotees. Yes.
Blessings in disguise.
Blessings in disguise. Okay. That could mean something difficult happens. And it's a blessing in disguise. It sounds more like a hidden mercy. Yes.
listening to be able to see Krishna's mercy in every situation. Krishna's
Yes.
in every side of life.
Krishna is in every side of life, so being able to see Krishna's mercy in every situation. Okay. Yes. Yes.
There's lots of service.
Lots of service. And if you need some, you can ask the Mangalatik. She's an ocean of mercy here. And if you're looking for some, and also Shripadam, yes. Shripadam has lots of mercy to give out if anyone's looking. I think our Janesh was giving out mercy. He also, if you need some, he's there. He can help you. Okay, right. So that's your homework for today. Look for mercy. Look for the mercy of Krishna. And tomorrow before class, some of us can exchange what we heard. Not everyone, but some. Okay, I'm going to read some more verses, and we're going to join together at verse 11. And now in this verses 6 to 10, you can look in your chart, the fate of materialistic people who cannot see the Lord. this is happening here. So, verse 6, my Lord, people of the world are embarrassed by all material anxieties. They are always afraid. They always try to protect wealth, body, and friends. They are filled with lamentation, unlawful desires, and paraphernalia. And they avariciously base their undertakings on the perishable conceptions of my and mine. As long as they do not take shelter of your safe lotus feet, they are full of such anxieties. So this is the negative side, how the people of this world are suffering. Maybe even some of us have these problems, even after becoming devotees. But Prabhupada says in the Purport, you might ask the question, well, how can one always think of the Lord and His name, His fame, if one is embarrassed by thoughts of family affairs? What if you're always worried about your family and you can't think about Krishna? And so Prabhupada says, how? How to be free of anxiety? Number one, a pure devotee never thinks himself the proprietor of his home. So that's okay. If you're not the proprietor, you don't have to worry. If some Krishna is the proprietor, he has to worry about maintaining it. Of course, that doesn't mean you just sit and do nothing. You have to do the work. So, and thus he surrenders everything to the control of the Lord. So Krishna's in control. And the good thing about Krishna being in control is he knows what's the best thing for us. We may not always know what is best. He knows what is best. He has no fear for maintaining his family or protecting the interests of his family. So, yeah, Srivas Thakur, when Lord Chaitanya asked him, I see you don't work. How do you maintain your family? And Srivas Thakur said, 1, 2, 3. What 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. If after 3 days I don't get any food to maintain my family, I will go jump in the Ganga and drown myself. And so Lord Chaitanya said, Lakshmi may have to go begging, but you will never have to go begging. You will always have, I guarantee, I will give you everything. And so Lord Chaitanya appreciated his dependence on the Lord. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a huge family, like 10, 12 children. And how did he see that family? If you sing his prayers, if you read his prayers, he said that all my family members, they are servants of Krishna. And I have to maintain them because they are your servants. He saw them as servants of Krishna. So verse 7, O my Lord, persons bereft of the auspicious performance of chanting and hearing about your transcendental activities are certainly unfortunate and bereft of good sense. They engage in inauspicious activities, enjoying sense gratification for a little while. So here, akushalani shashra, that they are engaged in inauspicious activities. Why? Why do they do these difficult things? For a brief moment of happiness. Kama, sukha, lesha, lavaya. How long is a lava? It's 8/45 of a second, about 1/6 of a second of happiness. For that, they work the whole day and night, very hard. So, but if we associate with devotees in that fraction of a second, then we will get all perfection. And so there is one, I might have told this story a couple of years ago, you probably forgot already, so I'll tell you again, about how by Prabhupada's association you can get perfection in spiritual life. There was one devotee, he was a boxer. He was just congregational member coming to the temple. He was a fighter. And the devotee said, why don't you just join us and stay with us? He said, no, I'm too attached to my boxing, my fighting. I cannot join you. So then Prabhupada came for some days, and when Prabhupada was leaving the last day, the devotees went to say goodbye, and this boxer was pushed to the front of the crowd, and his face was pressed against the window of Prabhupada's car. And Prabhupada was staring at him. And then he came away, and he said, okay, I will join you now. And they said, well, what about your boxing? What about your fighting? He said, after a glance like that from Srila Prabhupada, I can't go back to my boxing. So this is the value of a fraction of a second association with a pure devotee of the Lord. So Prabhupada says, devotees take compassion on such unfortunate persons. In a missionary spirit, try to persuade them to take up devotional service. Only by the mercy of a pure devotee can such unfortunate men be elevated to the position of transcendental service. Juli, dasi, my god sister, who has left this world a few years ago, on her birth certificate it lists her father was a butcher. So amazing mercy. We're all getting that mercy from Srila Prabhupada. She did not know her father, actually. She didn't know him, never had association with him. But Prabhupada became her real father. So now, verse 8, there's a list of the problems. Oh my Lord, all these poor creatures are constantly perplexed by hunger, thirst, severe cold, secretion and bile, attacked by coughing winter, blasting summer, rains, and many other disturbing elements, and overwhelmed by strong sex urges and indefatigable anger. I take pity on them, and I'm very much aggrieved for them. So it might be something on this list that you have experienced and had a challenge with. So yes, so Rama is feeling compassion for them. So Prabhupada says in the Prabhupada, unless the devotees of the Lord take pity on them and teach them the right path, their lives are hopeless failures. And so that was Prabhupada. Now 9 and 10, oh my Lord, the material miseries are without factual existence for the soul. Yet as long as the conditioned soul sees the body as meant for sense enjoyment, he cannot get out of the entanglement of material miseries. Such non-devotees engage their senses in very troublesome and extensive work, and they suffer insomnia at night because their intelligence constantly breaks their sleep with various mental speculations. They are frustrated in all their various plans by supernatural power. Even great sages, if they are against your transcendental topics, must rotate in this world. So, different classes of men suffer in this world. Some work hard in hellish factories. By day, you cannot sleep at night. There was one, anybody here ever work in a factory? Oh, wow. How, in one word, what would you say it was like?
Boring.
Boring. Okay, you're like a machine, kind of. Are you part of the machine, or?
It was a packing.
Packing, okay.
plant.
Packing plant, okay. Yes, boring. So one of my godbrothers, Bajahari, he was working in a factory, and he was in a steel factory, and he was working a night shift. And he told Prabhupada, after working the night shift, I almost had a nervous breakdown. Prabhupada said, actually, because in your last life, you were all Brahmins. Otherwise, how could you come to Krishna consciousness so quickly? Actually, my Guru Maharaj has ordered all of you to take birth to help me spread this mission. Now we are all together again. So, and Prabhupada has ordered all of you to take birth to help us spread this mission. And so now we're all together again. So this is the mercy that, you know, Prabhupada in one lecture, he said, who knew I was born in a different country, you were born in a different country, who knew we will come together? Who knew that we will stay and preach Krishna consciousness? Of course, Prabhupada, he knew. It was amazing. Incorporation of ISKCON was yesterday, I think, or?
Today.
It's today. Oh, incorporation of ISKCON. So, like Maharaj was speaking this morning in class in Hamburg Temple. He said this is going to go all over the world, and he couldn't see how. Well, when he was incorporating ISKCON with a few hippies, in 1966, he entitled it International Society. It was just a little storefront with a few hippies. And he's calling it the International Society for Krishna consciousness. Where's all the nations? Where's the international? The Prabhupada saw it. He saw how it was international already. And so anyway, yeah, it's amazing. They couldn't figure it out. They said, how, what's he talking about? Movement? What movement is it? And what's international? Anyway, the Prabhupada did it. And so now we would join together in verse 11. I'll sing one line. You can look to your verse page. You have some verses. 3, 9, 11. I'll sing one line. You can repeat after me. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja. Ase shute shitapato nanunata pumsam. Ase shute shitapato nanunata pumsam. Yad yad tiyata urugaya vibhavayanti. Yad yad tiyata urugaya vibhavayanti. Tat tad vahur pranayase sadanugrahaya. Oh my Lord, your devotees can see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing, and thus their hearts become cleansed and you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. So the Lord is already in the heart. What does it mean He's taking His seat there? He's already there. And what it means is that as for the non-devotees, He's there in the form of the four-armed super soul. But for the devotees who worship, like we may worship Panchatattva, we may worship Gaura-Nitai. The day will come when Gaura-Nitai will come and take their seat there. The day will come when Radha Krishna come and take their seat in our hearts, and we will see them, and we will worship them. So that's what this prayer is about. Seeing through the ears. My Lord, your devotees can see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing. So Prabhupada says in the purport that the statement here that the Lord manifests Himself before the devotee in the form in which the devotee likes to worship Him indicates the Lord becomes subordinate to the desire of the devotee. So the devotee desires to see Krishna in a particular form, and the Lord comes to fulfill the devotee's desire. So this is very important. We always hear how we have to become subordinate to the Lord's desire. Now we hear the opposite. Of course, that takes a while. I described it in my Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita class, that when you worship Gaura-Nitai, they come in your heart and they turn on the light, they reveal the two kinds of Bhagavatas, and then these Bhagavatas bring bhakti in your heart when you follow their instruction and serve them, sevaya. When you serve the Bhagavatas, then they give you bhakti. And then you can enjoy Krishna and He will fulfill your desire to see Him. So how do we get this attachment to the Lord? Prabhupada says in the purport a very interesting thing. It's something we can all do. Prabhupada says this particular attachment is invoked by practice of regulative devotional service to the Lord. So whoever is doing the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he becomes qualified to become attached to the eternal form of the Lord. And this is called Sarup Siddhi. So the Lord sits in your heart when you hear about Him. And when purport Prabhupada says, a single pure devotee can deliver all the fallen souls of the Lord. So if you are following the instructions of Brahma, prayers of Brahma, the instructions of your spiritual master, you can not only deliver yourself, but can deliver the whole world, Prabhupada says. So this is Brahma's prayers. I'll read verse 12. My Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods, who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as a super soul just to show your causeless mercy, and you are the eternal well-wisher but you are unavailable for the non-devotees. So two types of devotees Prabhupada described. Sakam means who has mixed with, you're doing devotional service mixed with material desires. And Nishkam, or the pure creatures. So, what's the difference between the Sakam, the one who has desires, and the Nishkam? What's the difference? Nishkam, we said, is free of material desires. So who can tell me what's the actual difference between the Sakam, the one who has material desires, devotee like that, and the pure devotee who has no material desires? What can we see difference in them? Anybody notice the difference? Yes, Manlishri?
It's like your demigods. They also do
The demigods have material desire. They want to enjoy.
a
Okay, yes?
Their single-mindedness, they don't have to divide their time between their own desires.
Okay, so the pure devotees are single-minded, and the other ones who have material desire, their attention is divided. Something for me, something for Krishna. Okay, any other differences? Yes.
Nishkama can be peaceful.
Nishkam is peaceful. Okay, that's another difference. Nishkam devotee is peaceful. But if you have desires, then you can't have peace of mind. Good. And Prabhupada tells one very important difference. The Sakam devotee who has desires, material desire, he is self-centered. Whereas the Nishkam is thinking of others. Thinking, how can I help others? That is the Nishkam. That was Prabhupada. He was not self-centered. He was always thinking about others. How to help others. So that is the basic difference between them. That's what Prabhupada says in the purport. Sakam devotees are self-interested because they do not think of others. Therefore, they are not able to satisfy the Lord perfectly. Pure devotees, on the other hand, take the missionary responsibility of turning non-devotees into devotees. They are therefore able to satisfy the Lord more than the demigods. Okay. So when Krishna used to go home at night, he was coming home from the pasturing grounds. On the path, the demigods would come every evening and offer prayers to him. But Krishna didn't care much for the prayers. He was very impatient to get home to the gopis and to his mother and father. So he didn't pay much attention to them. He had more attention for his devotees. So the demigods, this is an example of how the demigods can't really please him as much as the pure devotees can. So I'll tell one example of Prabhupada, how he had compassion. He was recovering from his illness at the ocean, and Govinda Dasi was sitting at his feet, chanting, and there were a lot of roses around. He was smelling the roses, and suddenly she saw a large brown slug. You have slugs here?
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about. Some countries they don't know. Some places they live in the city, they don't know what is a slug. It's like a snail without the shell, right? It's kind of just a really slimy and ugly thing. We have them in Vrindavan too. Princhbasi slugs. So, Govinda Dasi saw the slug and she was repulsed and she leaned away. And Prabhupada looked at her and she said, "Ooh, look at that." And she pointed to the slimy creature. Prabhupada leaned forward and looked at the slug. His face grew full of love and compassion. And he said to her, "Chant to the poor creature." And so she said, I sat there chanting Hare Krishna to the slimy yet benedicted slug for some time until he slithered away. And she said, "I could never forget the sound of your voice when you gave me that instruction. In it, your whole mission was encapsulated." So Prabhupada had the compassion. He didn't see the body. I mean, can you imagine? He didn't see that he saw the soul in that body. And he said, "Chant to the poor creature." He didn't see, that's what she said. "You didn't see the ugly slug I saw. You saw the soul covered in suffering forgetful of Krishna. From that moment, my heart opened for all creatures, and I glimpsed the depth of your divine compassion. So I'll read a few more verses. Verse 13. But the pious activities of the people, such as performance of Vedic rituals, charity, austere penances, and transcendental service, perform with a view to worship you and satisfy you by offering you the fruit of results, are also beneficial. Such acts of religion never go in vain. So, just like in Gita, Krishna talks about 4 kinds of people who come to him. And he said his favorite is the Jnani, but still he said, you know, the other ones, they're also magnanimous souls, the pious people. And it doesn't go in vain. Their acts do not go in vain. And they will also make progress in life. So verse 14, let me offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Transcendence, who is eternally distinguished by his internal potency. His impersonal feature is realized by intelligence for self-realization. I offer my obeisances unto him, who by his pastimes enjoys the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. So, we hear about Bhagavatam, it's Krishna, but Radharani is also hidden in Bhagavatam, and this is one of those verses where Radharani, there is a line in Sanskrit, rasayate, the word rasa. Prabhupada picks up the word in the purport, and he says, the rasa dance is performed by Lord Krishna in the company of the cowherd damsels at Vrindavan. And the personality of Godhead, Garbhodaya Vishnu, is also engaged in rasa, enjoyment, with his external potency, by which he creates, maintains, and dissolves the entire material manifestation. Indirectly, Lord Brahma offers his respectful obeisances unto Lord Shri Krishna, who is always engaged in rasa enjoyment with the gopis. So sometimes it kind of slips in there, slips into Bhagavatam, Radharani. And you can follow these last 3 verses on the 2nd page of your chart, 12, 13, and 14. You can see what we have just discussed. We will finish today by verse 15, which you do have. And I will say one line, and you can repeat after me. I think you have 15, don't you? Yes? Yes, you do. Yasyavatara gunakarma vidambanani. Yasyavatara gunakarma vidambanani. Namani ye subhigame vivasha grinanti. Namani ye subhigame vivasha grinanti. Tenaika janma shamalam sahasaiva hitva. Tenaika janma shamalam sahasaiva hitva. Samyat yaparitam ritam tamajam apadye. Samyat yaparitam ritam tamajam apadye. Let me take shelter in the lotus feet of him, whose incarnations, qualities, and activities are mysterious imitations of worldly affairs. One who invokes his transcendental names, even unconsciously, at the time he quits his life, is certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births, and attains him without fail. So here is a mystery. What is the mystery? How Krishna, he's acting like an actor. He's imitating the activities of ordinary beings. He's getting married, but it is not ordinary because he's marrying 16,108 wives, and he's expanding to be with each and every one separately and doing different things at different times of the day in each palace. If you travel, as Narada Muni traveled to his different palaces, you will find a different time zone in every palace. So that is, yes, for those of you who travel a lot and have problem with time zones, just imagine in Dwarka, Krishna's time zones in his palaces, different time zones. So, the mystery is, although he's acting like a human being, he's doing extraordinary acts like lifting over on a hill. So, in the purport, Prabhupada brings up a very important point for us. What relevance do these incarnations of the Lord have for us? First of all, he acts His acts are omnipotent, and if we remember his activities, it's just as powerful as the Lord. So the importance that the relevance that his incarnations have for us is if we remember Krishna's activities, the incarnation's activities, we get the same benefit as those who personally participated in them. We'll get the same benefit, we'll be just like being there in that Leela. So remembrance is as powerful as the Lord. Okay? So, we will stop here, and I would like to remind you of your homework. Look for mercy today. How is the Lord's mercy coming to you today? And if no mercy is coming, you can see some devotees from the temple that will shower you with some mercy. You can see different devotees for some service. So we will stop here. If you have any questions or comments, you can ask at this point. Yes, Tots.
It's the Lord appears in a form that you would like to.
Okay, the Lord appears in the form you would like to see.
But in this sanctum moment, so St. Prabhupada says that. I mean, first has the Lord Chaitanya come, and before anybody decides, he has to take the first step.
First, we have to take shelter of Lord Chaitanya
And
Mahaprabhu.
the Lord Chaitanya is coming before we decide.
He's coming even before we desire
decide to
that.
have him in such a
That's
form.
true, yeah, he's,
So
that's amazing. So this is causeless mercy. Causeless mercy means that you are not qualified to think of the Lord in the heart. You are not qualified to bring him in the heart. Still, he's coming. How is that? It's Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, causeless. So we are so fortunate to be born just a few years, 500 years, which is a second in Lord Brahma's, maybe a few minutes of Lord Brahma's time. A few minutes ago, Lord Chaitanya came. If you look at it from the perspective of Brahma, for us it's 500 years ago. But actually, if you look at it at the perspective of eternal time, he just came. And you can still feel, if you go to India, you can feel his presence in the place in Mayapur and different places. And of course, Prabhupada brought Mayapur to the west, so you could feel his presence here as well, and his mercy here as well, with the Panchatattva. And Hawaii is called New Navadvip. And when I was there, I discovered they have 9 islands. And in Hawaii, it's made of 9 islands. So there you go, New Navadvip. Mayapur, yes.
I have a different question. So
You have
I have a different question.
different question. That's okay.
Okay. One person asked me, is the mercy exclusively or just at least mostly given by the devotees of the Lord rather than directly, as in this case? And I was thinking about it, is it that when somebody is not yet really actively practicing Krishna consciousness, but on the way it would seem that the Lord is directly guiding that person, whereas when one starts to practice, then it's more through
Okay,
devotees.
he's asking whether, sometimes it seems like the mercy is coming directly from the Lord, although we say the mercy is coming through the devotees. But there is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita which talks about that. It says, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. That it is the mercy of the Guru and Krishna that you get the seed of devotional service. So by the mercy of Krishna, you get Guru, and by the mercy of Guru, you get Krishna. And so often it happens that first you get the mercy of the Lord to find, and that is what also Chaitanya Charitamrita says, that first you accept Gaurnitai, and then they turn on the light in your heart and you see the Bhagavatas, you see the Guru. So yes, it's both together, it's combined mercy. even before you become a devotee, you make it the mercy of the devotee before you get the mercy of Krishna also. It may come first. Some people, they don't get the direction from the Lord in the heart, but just the devotee smashes him on the head or something, with a book. He gives him a book. When we were just new devotees, Jadharani was collecting, and they had this big conch shell with a very pointed end, and they would stick the conch shell in your stomach and ask for a donation for the book. My ex-husband, he was walking on the street, and we were poor hippies, he had 25 cents, which was his bus fare to come home. And Jadharani took out one pamphlet, and it was entitled, "Who is Crazy?" And she said, "Take this," and he said, 50 cents. See, all I have is 25, I don't have 50 cents. She said, "That's okay," and she took his 25 cents again. He had to walk 2 miles home. But, yeah, sometimes the devotee is merciful. Yes.
My friend, she told me how she joined. She went to Christian church and she was praying to God.
She went to Christian church and was praying to God.
Yeah, she helped me. And the next day she met devotees.
Yeah, there are many stories. Next day she met devotees. Many stories like that where they pray to God, to Jesus. Somebody's mother was a Christian, one devotee's mother, and she was afraid to, pray to Krishna because she loved Jesus. And then finally Jesus came to her in a dream and said, they're the same as me, just go and chant. And Jesus had to come and tell her. I know another one. My friend, she had a dream before she was a devotee that Mother Mary came to her and took her to the top of a mountain and pointed down and showed where the devotees were and said, those are our people, you go and join them. And that devotee also had a dream of Prabhupada before she became a devotee. And Prabhupada was calling her. And she came to the temple in 1986 and said, "Oh, I have to meet him. I have to meet him, he's calling me." But they said, "Well, he already left." And she was upset about that. Yes?
Yeah. You were saying how Prabhupada said that his disciples, they were asked to come and take birth. And I was wondering, I don't know where I heard this, but I always thought it's like with Krishna. Some of the devotees, they followed Krishna, and some of the devotees, they came to Lord Prabhupada, but some of them, they were brought.
Yeah, they come from many different places. Prabhupada said some came from Bhavaloka. I can't remember, I think he said Satsuru Maharaj. And maybe Brahmananda. So they were coming from Brahmaloka. Yes?
I've heard from many Prabhupada disciples, they say that their only desire is to follow Prabhupada wherever he goes.
That's
and
right.
It is so, that it means that.
Yeah, we get that desire to follow him wherever he goes. That's right. So yeah, it can be true. Yes?
Yeah, in the beginning there was this question about having to pass a test, and if you fail a test, maybe that was an experience you had to go through. And you said that you spoke about the lesson and the message, that they might be different. Could you, because I didn't complete cast it, could you elaborate?
What's the difference between the lesson you learn from your test and the message you get from Krishna? Generally, the lesson you learn is some part of your attitude that you have to change. Like, I can give you an example from my life that many years ago, I was living in Vrindavan full-time pretty much. And I was getting some maintenance money from ISKCON. And then all of a sudden that money was stopped. So I thought, okay, what's the lesson and what's the message I should learn from this? So the lesson I saw was, well, first of all, I said, well, if I stay in Vrindavan, I won't have any money, so better I should leave Vrindavan. But then the lesson I learned was that, well, I have to depend on Krishna. I have to learn to dependence on Krishna. And the behavior, the message I got was, get out of Vrindavan and preach. So I took the message to heart. And after that, then I realized, of course, it's not just simply a matter of maintenance, but it's a wonderful service to inspire devotees. And also, I was sitting, I was sharing my knowledge because I had a lot of knowledge in Prabhupada's books. I was already teaching in Vrindavan. But then you can expand that and share all over the world. Why not? I mean, yeah, and the tests go on, they don't stop. You keep getting the tests, and you have to change your attitude, thinking, oh, I need to stay in Vrindavan, that's the best for me. But then you have to expand and think, well, there's a big world out there. What about others? Don't just think about yourself. Don't just be selfish. So that was change of attitude I had to make. Don't just be selfish. And think about yourself and your own maintenance and your own spiritual advancement. But you should be more in Prabhupada's mood of sharing. Because now it's a fact that the Prabhupada disciples are leaving, as Maharaj was saying this morning in class. And someday there will be no Prabhupada disciples. And so we do have a gift, mercy, a gift from Prabhupada that we have gotten. And so it's important that we share this gift with others. So they will also have this feeling that we had when Prabhupada was here and understand what it means. So yeah, that's an example from my life. Usually if I find the test, passing the test, learning the lesson, it's some way I am thinking which is wrong, some way I'm looking at the world which is not correct according to Krishna consciousness. Some flaw there, some mistake I'm making in my worldview. So that's the lesson I have to learn. And then the message is, okay, what is Krishna trying to tell me? Which generally, I find the lesson is like more on the mental level, and the message is more on the action level, on the action. Okay, what action, what behavior? Okay, if I understand this, if I have this attitude, then what behavior should I take? What action should I take now to follow this new attitude? What should be my action? Just like in Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, you are not this body, you are spirit soul, in the first 2 verses. So you should not lament. And then in verse 14, he says, so, it's just like happiness and distress, like winter and summer. You just come from sense perception. Therefore, you must tolerate. Tam stitiksha svabharata. So if you know you're not the body, then what's your behavior? That's the principle. The principle is, I'm not the body. That's the principle of truth. So if you know that, if you learn the lesson, you're not the body, so what kind of behavior are you going to show? You're going to tolerate. Because that's Krishna's first instruction in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. First instruction. The verse 11, he said, okay, wise people don't lament. Therefore, you're stupid. You're lamenting. The Prabhupada said, since you're lamenting, you're not wise. Although you're speaking learned words. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Jaya, glories to your Prabhupada. Oh, you have a question?
I don't know, I'm sorry I came very late, but I don't know if it was mentioned, but it said that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is running after the most fallen ones.
He's running after everyone. Not just the most fallen. It says, the verse is in Bhagavatam 11th canto, Mayamrigam daita evsta anvatava. Mayamrigam, those who are running after Maya, Lord Chaitanya is running after them. He's chasing the conditioned souls. Yeah, it doesn't say most fallen, it says conditioned souls. Even if you're not the most fallen, he'll chase you. Yes?
When comes to Krishna shows his mercy by taking away which is, does it always mean money, property?
Does it always mean money and property when Krishna takes everything away?
It shows mercy by taking away.
Oh, it can mean your distress. Hari means one who takes away also distress of the devotee. He may take away your anxiety. It may be mental also. It's not just physical. He may take away things on the mental level. Things that are disturbing you mentally. Mental imbalance, mental problems. He may also take away that too. It may come on that level. It may come in many levels.
Prestige.
Prestige, position. May take away your position, may take away your prestige. Your worship, your nice room. Okay, one last question. We still have a few minutes left. Yes?
It came to my mind what Krishna takes away. This mother Isha, Prabhupada, no,
Ma Isha, yeah.
seemingly old.
She's 90 something, 95 or 90.
Everything, it seems so
Yeah, so
strange.
she's one of my god sisters, this one, my god sister, and she's living in a nursing home, and Krishna took away her memory, Krishna took away all her material things, she's in an old age home, and she doesn't remember anything, but he didn't take away her memory of Krishna. She chants Hare Krishna. She leads all the old people in Hare Krishna mantra chanting, singing. She remembers that. But the people, they don't understand her, the nurses. When one devotee went to visit this lady, Isha, they said she doesn't even remember where her address, her house. She has a house and she doesn't remember. Just see, let's ask her. So, Isha, what is your address? Where do you live? She said, Vrindavan. So, there you go. Krishna took everything away, but he didn't take away her memory. Vrindavan. Okay, so we'll stop here with Vrindavan. Jai, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. See you tomorrow for the last class at 10:30 tomorrow morning.